have a right to be here to defend themselves. But since he's not here, he should just stop dragging. You know, majority leader can defend himself because he's here, Mr. Speaker. Can the honorable senator withdraw and apologize or substantiate, Mr. Speaker? Because when he says there are plaques that are littered with the name of President William Ruto in the country, that is not a statement of fact and standing order 105.
Senator Cherargei, just a minute ago, you are requesting to be given the names of the governors. Correct. You have the plaques. No. Also, you mentioned the name of a certain governor. Correct.
Sit down, Mr. Speaker, can I finish? Speaker, can I finish? Mr. Speaker, can I finish?
Too long.
Can I finish?
Listen, Senator Cherargei, since too long cannot make a right. Also, Senator Sifuna, there was a communication from the chair about that standing order to avoid mentioning names of state officers who are not in this house. Maybe unless you bring a substantive motion.
Honorable Speaker,
can I finish?
Sit down, Bwana.
Sit down. You are not the Speaker.
All the senators.
You are not the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why is Senator Sifuna ordering me? You are the Speaker.
Resume the seat.
Resume your seat, Senator Sifuna. Let me finish what I was saying. I'm saying as much as possible, you know, those plaques, those billboards and everything, whatever it is, avoid mentioning names of whatever billboard you saw, so that now we can make progress, Senator Cherargei.
Honorable Speaker, can I proceed, please?
Yes, but
Honorable Speaker, we are not discussing personalities. We are discussing our money. The Senator for Narok, Honorable Speaker, came from a time when he was hosting the president in his county. So he came back and told us, oh, we have been given an airport in Narok. The contractors are there day and night. So one time I had been given a lift by a friend of mine. We were coming from somewhere in Western. I said, I want to see this airstrip in Narok that has a contractor day and night. So I asked the pilot to fly over that space. Honorable Speaker, there is a plaque sitting there. There are no contractors there. That young man called Morara has gone round the whole country, has shown us. Even when you go to the so-called stadium in Wote, if you go to Kamarin Stadium, you will find those plaques there. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have these gatekeepers of the executive in the legislature. You do your job, let him do his job. So, Honorable Speaker, when he was going, Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from this heckler?
Senator Cherargei, order, kindly.
No. Honorable Speaker, do you know?
Of order are not making sense now.
Honorable Speaker, there is.
Senator Cherargei, can you allow?
You know, when you are used to using matatus, have you ever been in a chopper? You can see.
No.
Honorable Speaker, protect me from this.
Senator Cherargei. Senator Cherargei, I'm giving you the first warning this afternoon. I'm giving you the first warning. No point of order.
Honorable Speaker, please.
Let Senator Sifuna be in silence.
Thank you.
To conclude his...
Honorable Speaker, so the point that I was making, Honorable Speaker, is that those plaques with names of either projects that have been started or concluded should bear the same sign that I told you about, the Road Maintenance Levy Fund. It should say, your taxes have built this stadium in Wote. Your taxes have built this stadium in Kamarin, which doesn't exist, by the way. Honorable Speaker, let me conclude by commenting on something he said. And I was very quiet when he spoke, so I hope he will be quiet too. Honorable Speaker, as a responsible government, you cannot tell us to wait for you to face you in 2027, and you are killing us today. Albert Ojwang is in the ground. He will not be able to meet William Ruto in 2027. So if we stopped, all of us, if all of us agreed, all of us should agree.
Senator
all of us
Sifuna,
should agree.
Senator
Honorable
Sifuna,
Speaker, please don't stop me.
You are now contravening standing on the 121.
Now the Speaker himself is interrupting me.
Standing on the 121. I gave a ruling, I gave you guidance. You know you cannot do elections in the Senate. We don't do elections in the Senate. So avoid mentioning names of state officers. I warned you. I cautioned you. That is the first caution again, understanding on the 121.
Very well, Honorable Speaker.
And you know the consequences.
Very well, Honorable Speaker. Very well, Honorable Speaker. What I'm saying is this. All of us must agree that if decisions are being made democratically at an election, can we guarantee that all of us get to that election? Because you can't tell me to wait for you at the ballot and then you make sure I don't get there. Is Albert Ojwang supposed to vote from the grave? There's no such polling station. So when you talk about a state officer standing up and saying you can shoot people, as if people don't die from gunshot wounds. Honorable Speaker, we saw Rex Masai, the young man who was killed during the protest, was shot in the leg. So how can you tell people to shoot people in the leg as if those injuries are sustainable injuries? So, Honorable Speaker, we want to make it very clear that as a country, we have totally lost our way. And we will not have a conversation with someone telling us to wait for 2027 when he's not giving us a chance to get to 2027. He has become an existential threat for this country, and he must go as soon as possible. I thank you.
Senator Wakiri Hilali.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, you will protect me from Senator Cherargei, particularly when he makes reference to the local dialect that he requests of me to speak to the House on. First, Mr. Speaker, I want to laud this gentleman called Laban Omusundi. He has not only been filing public interest petitions in this House on matters like what we are debating today, but also on matters that covers on the laws that we are legislating in this particular House. Mr. Speaker, in fact, as of today, we have, as JLAC, a report that we were meant to table on another petition that he has filed regarding the introduction of a framework on the recall of members of county assembly, and in that particular petition is saying that the law does not provide for it. So as a Kenyan, a patriotic Kenyan for that matter, I want to appreciate him because we've dealt with not one, not two, but more than 3 petitions as JLAC by this same gentleman. I needed to appreciate him so that as he continues to do that most of us do not or cannot do, he knows he's doing it because he's a patriotic Kenyan and he's doing the act that is expected of us, not only to keep the legislature in toss in terms of enactment of laws, but also in terms of public interest petitions that covers areas including where we are saying we do not want to continue seeing governors, members of parliament, members of county assemblies emboldening their names on resources of public which have been utilized to develop certain infrastructure in our various places. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the committee that dealt with this issue, and in particular the recommendation and the timeline they gave requiring the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to do certain actions within 30 days. Mr. Speaker, it is on public notoriety that almost all elected governors, members of parliament, and members of county assembly, in the simplest of the projects, including public toilets and some pit latrines, they publish their names saying that this particular project was done by so-and-so on this particular date without necessarily making reference to the fact that those are public resources. And Mr. Speaker, such publications in itself is abuse of office. In fact, it goes beyond unethical conduct, but it borders on abuse of office and is sufficient ground for someone to be brought to book and also be charged for abuse of office. And so to have a Kenyan like Laban Musundi to prick our conscience and ask of us to make certain recommendations and also to think through the actions that we do is something that not most of us would do. And for the committee to also invite this particular house to have a conversation around this and to invite the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to act is to remind us that these violations of the law, these violations of the guidelines that we do have are not only costly to the public, but they are potentially going to encourage unnecessary competition because one would, in the process of having seen someone politically made famous by the use of public resources, they would do it. My colleagues have made reference here of certain motor vehicles where they have indicated or even have a portrait of the person who is seen as the patron, whether it's a member of parliament who's funded, or rather who has facilitated the acquisition of such a school bus or an institution bus using CDF or public resources, and their portrait is appearing at the rear mirror or the rear window of the car. In itself, one would be forced to equally do the same. And I want to associate myself with the recommendation that even if you really would want to have your name there, then use your own resources, use your own money in your individual foundations or private life. Use the resources that belongs to you and publish your name there. Let public resources be used for public resources, because if you were to look at the amount of these portraits of the billboards that are payable for one to display, that amount is sufficient to be utilized to do projects which would benefit the public. I therefore appreciate the work and the recommendation of the committee, and as Senator Cherargei said, we have indeed invited the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to give us an itemized status of the cases or reports which various committees of this House have made recommendations for their action, and in due course we shall be able to table that particular report, having summoned the commission before the committee. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Very well, Senator Zena, the Maletian, not present, Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand in support of the report by the Standing Committee on Devolution on this petition on by Laban. Mr. Speaker, the issues that we as a Senate are called upon to deal with in the counties are major issues, and this is one of those issues. Mr. Speaker, all of us are born witness to situations where governors in particular counties want to behave as though their names are synonymous with their counties. That every little thing that they do, they want to do billboards with their names and their photos, indicating that they are the people and the leaders that are responsible for the projects that they are talking about. The Speaker, the thing that these people don't understand is that they are in office for, if they are lucky, 5 years. And if they get luckier, they may be 10 years, and that's it. They can never be in office for more than 10 years. As Speaker, some of us are insulted by images of leaders, governors, that the voters kicked out of office, but their images are still staring at us, Mr. Speaker, and proclaiming ownership of projects in counties. Mr. Speaker, this petition by Laban and the recommendations by the Committee on Devolution is one instance where, as a Senate, we should actually move with speed, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that those billboards and those signages, whatever they are brought down, Mr. Speaker. Because there is one thing, Mr. Speaker, to say that they should not be erected going forward. It's a different story, Mr. Speaker, to have to endure the images of those governors and their names on those billboards, looking down on us every time we use it, whether it's a road or a project that was initiated and completed during their time. So, Mr. Speaker, I fully support the recommendations of the committee and thank Laban for bringing that petition to the Senate. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when I came in, I found my colleagues in serious conflict and a war of words over remarks that were being made by the senator for Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, the one thing that we must agree, all of us, is that this country belongs to all of us. Every one of us. Those in authority and those under authority, Mr. Speaker, this country belongs to all of us. There is one thing, Mr. Speaker, that is getting very rare among us, and it gets me very worried. Mr. Speaker, the tolerance levels in this country are really going very low. And it's a matter of concern for me as a leader, as a citizen of this country. Mr. Speaker, people will hold different views on the same matter. It doesn't mean that those people must be enemies just on account of different views that they hold. Mr. Speaker, authority is given to some offices, including our own office, Mr. Speaker, as senators. We have the power to summon governors and state officers and grill them on issues of public concern. Mr. Speaker, the executive has been given powers by the Constitution to ensure the safety of our property and the safety of our lives, to make sure that this country runs in a good way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I keep saying that I am probably the least qualified to offer any advice to the executive, the national executive, or even the county executives. But Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with the national executive, led by His Excellency the President. I really want to plead. Mr. Speaker, we tone down rhetoric. We tone down our speeches. We be careful the things that we say in public. For good reasons, Mr. Speaker. Because if our president then says certain things in public, chances are that some people will react to those things. They will answer him. That exchange, Mr. Speaker, is not good for us. This country needs serious healing and tolerance. Mr. Speaker, I know it is a very difficult thing to ask for, but I'll ask for anyway. I wish the president could find it in his heart to just even withdraw the orders that he gave yesterday about police shooting people in the leg. I just wish he could. Maybe he can't, but I wish he could. Because, Mr. Speaker, that's an avenue for serious bloodshed in this country. We don't want to go that route, Mr. Speaker. We want to differ politically, and we have said it openly and honestly, Mr. Speaker, and candidly, that for us in the opposition, we are going to be willing and persevere until 2027. We meet the president and his party at the ballot, and the Kenyan people will decide which team to elect into office. Mr. Speaker, that can only happen if we have a country by 2027. If we don't have a country in 2027, then even the conversation about the elections in 2027 will be moot conversations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal for tolerance. I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, that to whom much is given, more is required. A lot more is given to the office of the president. Much more is required from that office.
I don't want to cut you short, but be relevant to the motion. Understanding under 120. Stop diverting the... Stop diverting from the call agenda on the motion. If you want to discuss that matter, then you can know what to do. Just bring a motion. Let us discuss it.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
Do you want to be informed?
Yeah, I can be informed, yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to inform Honorable Wambua, because he was not in the House, that in fact the person who started that discussion about the shoot to kill orders was Senator from Nandi during the debate. And in the rules of fairness, we also have to comment. And I have to point out that no point did I hear the Speaker interject and say that that is not relevant. So what's good for the gander must be good for the goose. Allow us to speak on matters of national interest, Honorable Speaker.
While on the floor, I gave guidance.
No, you never interjected to stop him.
You cannot
He's
tell
the
me
one who
no,
brought
no,
that matters
Senator
there.
Sifuna, you're out of
Honorable
order.
Speaker, you must be fair to
can't
both
think I
sides of the
give you
House.
what to do,
But you have to be fair to both sides of the House.
No.
Yeah, that matter, Senator Wambua, was begun by the Senator for Nandi.
Senator Sifuna,
He spoke extensively, and we must respond to the things that he said.
Him. That's fair enough.
Yeah, he will tell me when the information is enough, Honorable Speaker. You should allow him to say whether it is enough. I have more.
Senator Sifuna.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for the information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am guided by your direction. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to remind this House that on the June 25th of 2024, when this House was invaded by young people, Mr. Speaker, everybody else took off. The National Assembly took off. And I remember I even reminded the Majority Leader yesterday in my conversation with him that the decision that the Senate took to stay the course and confront the issues as they were